Hi guys, Jay Smith here, welcome to AskGolfNut channel and welcome to Srixon ZXi LS driver, their low spin option. I've already done the ZXi, their standard normal driver, with the movable weights as such. We've got one on the toe and one on the heel if you want to make it a little bit more draw or fade bias. I've also done the max. The max is their max. Everyone loves 10K. Everyone loves a max head, and Srixon have moved away from ZXi 5, ZXi 7, the easier one and the more players one, to the 3 driver head setup. This is the low spin one. We do have the 2 weights at the bottom. We have a 10 gram at the front and we do have a 4 gram weight at the back. So this is in its lowest spin settings. I've got all 3 of the heads at 9 degrees. I'll do the testing all at 9 degrees, but when it comes to the all important numbers side, at the second half of the video, I'll be put up at 10.5 degrees for the 80, 95, 110 miles an hour, because again, we don't all swing at super tour speeds. The LS, generally speaking, will be for the slightly faster swinging golfer, because again, as soon as you start swinging a little bit quicker, you naturally increase your spin profile. We have got that eye flex face, Srixon's idea at trying to keep as much ball speed on the face when you don't hit where you should do. It has got the laser engraved etching on the face, which is an interesting look. Looks like you've got tens and tens of micro grooves staring back at you. We have got the rebound frame to try and transfer as much energy as possible into the golf ball. Interesting looks on the sole. They've got the same looks on all of the range, the ZXi, the Max, and also the LS. That kind of triangular wedge on the bottom, which some people will like and some people won't. But let's go give it a hit, because we are a drivable par 4. Everyone loves a drivable par 4. This is exactly the same hole in all 3 of the tests. Let's go see if this LS has got any chance of getting close to where I need it to. Bearing in mind, I haven't hit the green yet. I've done the ZXi, and the first shot went into the bunker, and that's a naughty greenside bunker. The first shot with the Max also hit the same bunker. So I'm kind of hoping with the slightly lower spin profile of the LS that I'm going to hop over the bunker and be on the green. Let's give it a go anyway. Down by the golf ball, you can tell there's a slight difference in size between this and the other 3. The ZXi and the Max you can't really tell, but this one you can see it's a little bit smaller. Oh, I don't know. It wasn't perfect, it was slightly toey. Go on, hop on the green. Go on. Oh, that's harsh. That's the closest I've been so far. Oh. Club head speed 108.2 miles an hour as I warm up. Club path is 0.6 from the inside. Face is fractionally open 1 degree. 9 mil toe, 2 mil low, so fractionally toey delivery. That's what's given its draw back again. 1 yard offline, according to FSX. Until you hit it into the green and then you go up there, it done okay, but unfortunately that's what golf does, not sterile fairways. But we're hitting 32 yards in the air, which is much better. That is a much more forward flight, and 37 degrees descent angle. That is hitting the ground and running 271 carry, 294 total yards, and 1 yard offline. Feeling wise it's good. It's probably my favorite of all of the 3 heads. Being slightly smaller does make it feel slightly different. It's very difficult to actually quantify exactly what the differences are, but I prefer the feeling, the sound of the LS. Is it huge? Not at all. That was right out the screws within reason of 10 mil, 9 mil, slightly off, but that's it. Single digit miss, and it's doing well. 271, 294. It's a much more forward flight. That wasn't bad. 2-3 spin. The spin profile is getting a little bit lower. Efficiency is 1.45, it's not bad whatsoever, especially from a camera-based system. From a TrackMan, you'll get 1.5s, etc., because they read it slightly differently. But 1.45 isn't bad at all. Let's go see if we can hit the green. Oh no, miss hit. Too much toey. It's absolutely fine. You've got a load of room up there. Don't roll in the bunker though, please. But that's safe. Club speed 108.9 miles an hour. Club path 0.6 from the inside. Face is 0.4 to that. Very 0-0 delivery. But the strike, slightly toey, that one, we'll call that. 20 mil toe, 3 mil low. So it's actually only 12 yards offline. But what you can see there, what it's done is hit the toe. It started off to the right, 3 degrees right, even though the face was basically, what was that, 1 degree to target. So it started off further right, and then it's drew It's overdrawn by about 12 yards or so, but that's fairway, guys. So that's pretty darn good from a bias point of view of will it get back to target? And it did. Slightly overdrawn, but I'd take that from an absolute shocker of a strike, although I'd much rather hit 20mm toe than I would even half of that on the heel. Feel-wise, can't really say much on that one because you definitely feel the twist when you're hitting it 20mm off of the toe. Let's go see if we can do a slightly better job. Oh, off the bottom. This will be interesting. That's carrying straight into that bunker. Oh, that is interesting. I felt that was slightly low on the face, but in fact it was fractionally heely. Club head speed 110 miles an hour, warming up now. Club path 0.6 me inside, face path again, everything under a degree, but 8mm heel, 2mm low. I felt that was more low than heel, but it wasn't. It was actually heely. Now we got the cut spin, we'll call that. It's only 10 yards offline. You'd still take that one. Carries 273, spins at 2-1. That's not bad considering that is a miss. Efficiency's come down a bit going off 8mm heel, but that's actually done very well. In the real world, that is an awkward bunker shot. I will not lie. Although I don't mind being a bunker, although that bunker there is quite vicious. But the feel is distinctly interesting. Now on the Max and the ZXi, the standard ones, within reason, I've got no issue identifying when I'm hitting the face. I thought that was low, and it wasn't. It was heel. Well, it was 2mm. But the main thing was heel. So feedback is interesting on this golf club. The result, you'll take it. Greenside bunker from this distance, 280 odd yards, you'll take it all day long, 273. I mean, under normal conditions when we're not hitting into an upslope, and we've got greenside bunkers like this, that could make it onto the green. Absolutely it could. Right, give it another go. I actually quite like hitting this LS. I don't mind at all. Now is it missing? Is it missing? Go on, carry over. Oh, let's hit the green. Yay, that's the first one. Oh, come on, hang on. I can't win. Club path, 0.8 across and face this time was fractionally open, but I did hit off the toe, 11mm toe, 5mm high. It feels so much nicer hitting it from the toe than it does anywhere near the heel. We are spinning at 2.3, so that's not bad whatsoever. 2.76 carry, 2.98 total. And as you can see, we hopped over the green. This is a very small green, by the way, and that was a decent shot. You'd take it all day long. Feels much, much better off the toe than anywhere off the heel. These golf clubs, and it's no different to the ZXi or the Max, they don't really like heel strikes from a feel point of view. When it comes to results, performance-wise, they don't do bad off heel, but the feeling is far worse as such. Right, one last one. Can we get it to stop on the green? I'm gonna have to launch it to see if we can stop it through descent angle, because that one was peaking up at 37 yards in the air. Descent angle was still sub 40 degrees. So that's gonna wanna hit the ground, hit the fairway, and chase down there, which is good. Not when you're looking at hitting the green though. One last one. We'll give it a launch, I think, and see if we can gain some stop on the green. Well, then within reason, come on, stop on the green. Stop. Oh, it's a hard green, that's not fair. Club head speed 113.4 as I slightly dial up the speed, try and get it launching a little bit. Club path 0.2, face fractionally open again, 1.5 degrees open, so that should fade. However, the toe strikes are in today, 10mm toe, 0mm low, so not a bad strike whatsoever, but it was just enough to counter the fact that my face was fractionally open, a little bit of counter gearing on the spin, and so we're only 3.9 yards off of line. 284 carry, which is what I would like to see on this. I'd like to see a mid 280s carry. Again, I'm having to try and artificially generate launch conditions. I mean, I'm hitting 7.6 degrees up at it. We're spinning at 2.5. So I'm kind of bludgeoning the ball through the air. I'd like to get this down at 7.5 degrees. That's where I'd probably set this golf club to try and get the most out of it normal and not swing at 113 miles an hour. Feels good, works well. Let's go hit at 3 different swing speeds, 80, 95, 110 miles an hour. Let's go put this up to 10.5 degrees because especially with this one, and I've done the same with all other drivers that I test, if you swing at 80 miles an hour with a 9 degree head, There's generally speaking not enough spin to keep the golf ball up in the air. Let's also go test it all over the face. Let's get the heat maps going, the efficiency heat map. Let's go test that variable face thickness out. Let's also, though, the more important one, the distance factor map. When you don't hit the middle and you hit weird and wonderful parts, how well does it do at keeping distance up? So how well does the Srixon ZXi LS driver get on at 3 different swing speeds, 80, 95, 110 miles an hour. I've also done the forgiveness side of things when you hit it all over the face, don't hit the middle. How much ball speed retention do you get? And also how much distance do you lose when you don't hit where you should do? On the screen you can see we've got the ZXi LS at 3 different swing speeds. We've got the clubhead data at the bottom, we'll do that in a sec, but we'll do the ball data first. We've got red, which is 80 miles an hour, the yellow, which is 95 miles an hour, and the blue, which is 110 miles an hour. We'll do the red first. Carry of 174 yards, which is okay, but it's peaking up at 15 yards in the air, descent angle 24.6, which is extremely shallow, and the spin's at 1700 and something. Basically, at this speed, ball speed's 117 or so miles an hour, launching at 12.2. Effectively, what we're saying is that there is not enough spin to keep the golf ball in the air, and we would need to apply more. Again, this is not necessarily a surprise. This is the low spin head. Is it 10.5 degrees? Yes, but this is the common thing when you're looking at low spin. Generally speaking, the faster swing speed golfer, or the golfer because of their delivery that applies a lot of spin, will be going towards the LS for its spin reduction capability, especially over that of the standard ZXi and the ZXi Max, which is a very high spinning, both of them are very, very high spinning golf clubs. I'm not a massively low spin player. I'm not a massively high spin player. I'm in the middle, and this is normal to see one just not very good when it comes to slow swing speed. Go to 95 miles an hour though. The normal in between one carries at 235, peaking up at 28 yards in the air. Descent angles 35 degrees, which is an absolute lovely number for bounce, and chasing down the fairway, hopefully. And spins at 2.1, which is absolutely fine. It's on that kind of precipice 2000 RPM. We do not want to go any lower than that on the basis that you don't want to hit slightly high in the face, which will then draw us a little bit of spin off and then get into that knuckleball kind of falling out the sky flight like we're seeing with the 80 miles an hour. Go to the full on blue, 110 miles an hour, and carries a 267, peaking up at 36 yards in the air, descent angle at 40.8, so we're just over the 40 degrees, because again, anything under 40 degrees is going to have a really good chance of bounce and rolling down the fairway, but it's out of the 3 drivers, it's the best of the lot. Spins at 2.7, which is still slightly high for a low spin option. But then if you compare again to the ZXi Max, those two are at the same swing speed, up to around 300 to 400 RPM more than the LS. So again, the LS is doing exactly what the LS is designed to do, take some spin off of the golf ball, but it's still a fairly spinny design. So again, we're talking about the ZXi Max, ZXi Standard being very, very good for the slow to medium swing speed golfer. The LS is definitely going to be down the route of the medium swing speed golfer and going into the faster, depending on how you deliver. But we'll go look at the clubhead data now. We've got clubhead speed 80.3, 95.8, 109.4, so within 1 mile an hour or so. There is your 15 mile an hour differences. We've got efficiency, which is bang for your buck, how much ball speed you get from your clubhead speed. 1.46, 1.45, 1.44. Club angle attack is within 1.2 degrees. Club path is within 1.5, and face control, the more important face control more than anything else, is within half a degree. With 30 mile an hour difference within reason. Pretty darn good. And loft is within 0.3 of a degree in loft. Very close. And we've got my strike on there as well for all to see. This is the club and ball compare. If you guys that prefer the graphical representation would like to pause the video now and have a look at that, you can do if you wish. It's just some people prefer and understand better when we're looking at pictures and images than they do streams of tabular data. So to the all-important forgiveness time, hit it all over the face. Let's see how good this driver is at retaining ball speed first. Let's do the efficiency heat maps first to see how good it is at retaining ball speed across the face. On the screen, you can see the heat map, and I've also got the overlay on the bottom left-hand side. If you haven't seen these before, these are the heat maps. So a visual representation of how much ball speed is dropped off in the face, and it's looking at it as though it's face on. So on the top left, you've got the 30, which is 30 millimeters off of the toe. On the right-hand side, you've got -30, which is 30 millimeters off the heel. We've got high and also low, and the green blob in the middle is bang in the middle. That's where you need to hit it, and you don't lose anything from there. And you can see how big this green blob is, and it is big, big, big. Srixon have done an amazingly good job at trying to make a driver just retain as much ball speed for some wacko parts. Now, it's not surprising to see on the heel, yes, is not great, but then no driver's really great from the heel, and so that's not really a surprise. But it is very, very good, this driver, at keeping ball speed up. It's green for a very, very big area. Go to the distance factor map though, and things changes. So the distance between the efficiency maps and the distance factor maps is efficiency maps is measuring how much ball speed is retained when you don't hit the middle. Everything loft for loft and face to path adjusted. When we're looking at distance, it is a raw distance. How much distance does the golf club produce when you hit it from certain parts of the face? And of course, different to the efficiency maps, and of course all the manufacturers would love all the efficiency maps to be basically plastered out there and none of the distance factor maps, because that's what they always like to talk about with their variable facings, etc. But the distance factor maps are the best at understanding how good a driver is at retaining the same distance regardless of where you hit it across the face. Now, this is not a surprise necessarily for the LS. The LS is, generally speaking, the least forgiving of all of them, and so you'd expect to see a rather fast drop off when you don't hit the middle. And of course, when you're looking at that green blob, is centered very much so out towards the toe, because this is the LS, but it is still a fairly high spinning LS. And so to get the most out of this one, again, no different to the other two, you have to hit this around about the high toe mark. Not quite as high as the other ones, because with the ZXi and ZXi Max being a slightly higher spin profile design, they have to be hit higher on the face to get more vertical gearing. This one, not so much. It just has to be hit fractionally high and fractionally toe to get the most out of it. And of course, because of such, then you'll get a radiated drop off across the face when you don't hit the ideal spot. So to the new part, where we have a look at the advanced data metrics. All of the information that you've seen so far when it comes to what you'll see here, and also the heat maps, is on the website www.askgolfnut.com, where my website members will have access to all the tiered data. But you can see, let's do the first lot on there, which is the launch characteristic differences. We've got the head bias, launch factor, distance potential, and the face spin rate. Let's go by head bias first. This basically is a marginally, by the fractioned amount into the draw bias. It's effectively neutral. When you hit out the middle, zero path, zero face, zero everything else, and you basically hit it out the screws, it has the tendency to give it the tiniest amount of draw, but it's so small it would actually look dead straight. It is effectively a neutral head. When you look at the launch factor is how much does this golf club, for whatever delivered loft that you deliver, the dynamic loft that you deliver into the golf ball, how much does that convert into physical launch? And it is a rather high launch factor, especially for an LS. Now, the LS, this is the low spin head, but it's not the lowest spin by no means of all the low spin heads. So it does do launch factor quite well, which is actually pretty good. And if you look at the distance potential, it's sitting in the average column, slightly short to average column, because of the face spin rate. Again, being the LS, it is the lowest spinning, but you compare that to some other low spin heads and it is quite high spinning, and so we do have a slightly lower on the average of distance potential because of the slightly higher average face spin rate. Now we're going to have a look at how the golf club bends the golf ball when you don't hit the middle. If you're going to hit it off the toe, off the heel, high and low as well, how much spin is added and taken away, because different golfers will require different things. So if you're a golfer that is, say, always hit it out the heel and have always exhibited too much curvature. The golf ball has always curved too much, gone past the fairway, into the rough, into the trees, that idea, and you want to find a driver which, when you hit out the heel, because unfortunately that is your pattern, doesn't curve the golf ball that much. That's the reason why we have these kind of metrics. Let's have a look at the toe first. So on the toe, you can see there that when you hit off the toe, this at the bottom there, the minus, which is toe curvature, draw, every millimeter that you move across, it adds of curvature 0.771 degrees. So if you're going to go 10 millimeters across onto the toe and you hit off the toe 10 millimeters, let's move the decimal place 1 across, and effectively it will add 7.71 degrees of tilt axis of draw. Now that's neither good or bad, that is depending on what you need as a golfer, and different golfers will require different things. So we have got these set at the moment at red, yellow and green. That's not necessarily right or wrong, it's just exactly what they are. We're just gonna have to change the colors, I think, because these are very more so subjective more than anything else, because it's what you need. So it's not a good or a bad, it's just what you need. If you look on the heel, really very, very good from a point of view. It doesn't add a lot of curvature. Considering heels can be excessive in their curvature, you can get drivers no different off the toe as well. If you have a very sensitive driver, those numbers will go straight up as a fact that you hit, say, 10 millimeters out the toe, 10 millimeters out the heel, and you'll see the ball curve. Again, as a general rule, the more sensitive drivers are the lower spin head ones, and will want to put a lot of curvature on the golf ball when you don't hit the middle. And it's generally speaking, you don't really find that many golfers that want very, very sensitive heads when you hit out the heel and need a lot of curvature. So within reason, commonly the golf clubs like this one, which is rather very, very good at trying to keep the golf ball stable through the air, is generally speaking better for more people. If you go high and low, that number there is how much ball spin, how much spin is added or taken away when you hit vertically higher or lower on the face. And it's doing really well again. It's no different to that of the ZXi and the ZXi Max. This LS has a slightly higher increase in spin off the low strikes, but really it's doing very, very well. This is the low spin head. This is the least stable of all of the heads from design, and it's doing remarkably well. The only thing I would say when it comes to the LS, and again, that is also very much so different to if you deliver in a certain way, it is just a slightly higher spinning head. It launches the golf ball very, very well. It does spin the golf ball a lot as well for a low spin head, but again, that is down to the golf. If you're a golfer which delivers in a way which doesn't deliver a lot of spin loft and you struggle not having enough spin on the golf ball, then the LS absolutely is going to work into that kind of bracket of what you need. You may find that the ZXi or the ZXi Max is too much spin, and hence why the Srixon have that LS sitting in the range to try and get all the graduations through. It's just as a whole, the whole range is for me, at my swing speed, just a fraction too high spinning to get the most out of it. But if you did see the Max video, I show in the numbers side there that I could take this head, this 9-degree head, put it all the way down to 7.5 degrees, hit up at it more, try to reduce my spin loft and get some seriously good distance numbers from it. If I did the same with this LS, no issues whatsoever, matching definitely the normal kind of best golf clubs out there in the LS range. What you see is the premium offerings like the TaylorMades and Callaways, etc., of getting the same, definitely equal distance to them. Hope you liked the video. If you did, go on, give it a big old thumbs up, hit that like button. YouTube likes it, so do I. Down there is a subscribe button. It's free. It's great for channel if you could subscribe, so thank you. And next to that one is a bell icon, that's notification bell. If you click that one, that'll let you know next time I upload another video. Hope you're well. We'll see you again soon.